Grover Cleveland. He was the only president elected to 2 non-consecutive terms. In the early 1870s, Cleveland got his start in rough-and-tumble Buffalo, New York politics. As sheriff, he also served as hangman, executing 2 murderers. Cleveland was big and burly and could drink and play poker with the best of them in Buffalo's Tenderloin. Grover Cleveland made a name for himself as a reform mayor of Buffalo, New York, and later governor of the state. In 1884, Cleveland's unsuccessful opponent for president was Secretary of State James G. Blaine. Mr. Blaine had 2 school buildings named in his honor in Philadelphia, at 30th and Norris Streets in Strawberry Mansion. That 1884 campaign was vicious. James G. Blaine was no saint. He had taken payoffs from the railroads, but he spared no mercy with Grover Cleveland. 'Twas a fact that Cleveland had fathered an illegitimate son. The rallying cry of Blaine's Republicans became, "Ma, ma, where's my pa?" The Democrats responded, "Gone to the White House. Ha, ha, ha." But Grover Cleveland was a man of absolute integrity. When Cleveland was questioned about his morals, Cleveland simply stated, "Tell the truth." Cleveland was the first president to marry in the White House. He wed Frances Folsom, and Cleveland was twice her age and more than twice her weight. Frances was the daughter of Cleveland's law partner, and Cleveland took more than a fatherly interest in Frances after her daddy was killed in a buggy accident. The wedding ceremony was quite modern. In fact, Frances had the word obey omitted from her marital vows. The Clevelands had 5 children, but the president's proudest was his firstborn, Ruth. Ruth died at age 12 of diphtheria, and the president was so despondent he decided not to come out of retirement and oppose Teddy Roosevelt in the 1904 election. Cleveland lost the presidency to Benjamin Harrison in 1888. It was the year of the Great Blizzard in Philadelphia. While only 10 inches of snow fell between March 11th and 12th, the temperature dropped to 8 degrees, and 60-mile-an-hour winds blew the snow into huge drifts. 1893, Cleveland was president again, having bested Benjamin Harrison. At the Great Columbian Exhibition in Chicago that summer, the exotic dance, the hoochie coochie, was invented. The bicycle was America's most popular diversion. In 1882, only 20,000 bicycles were in use, while in 1893, America had over 1 million of the amazing machines. But while America was having fun, Grover Cleveland was not. A visit to his physician revealed that big trouble was brewing. What is Grover Cleveland's strongest Philadelphia connection? Let's go to the Mutter Museum of the College of Physicians on 22nd Street. In a display case is a glass bottle containing a piece of Grover Cleveland's cancerous jawbone. A Philadelphian and a world-famous surgeon, Dr. William Williams Keene, saved President Grover Cleveland's life. The president's life-saving surgery took place aboard the yacht Oneida in New York's East River in July of 1893. Secrecy was key so as not to cause a collapse on Wall Street during the financial panic of 1893. Dr. Keene worked with Cleveland's physician Joseph Bryant to remove the jaw cancer. Keene used a special cheek retractor he obtained in Paris in 1866. All cuts were made internally, so Cleveland was not disfigured. After follow-up surgery and insertion of a rubber jaw, Cleveland went back to work quickly and could speak normally. The president died of unrelated causes in 1908. Although rumors abounded, Keene refused to discuss the case until 1917, when a Saturday Evening Post article and a book were published with his recollections of this case. Keene performed America's first brain surgery in 1887, helping a 26-year-old epileptic man to live 32 more happy years. These are artifacts from Dr. Keene's office on display at the College of Physicians. Dr. Keene's instrument bag, sewn by his wife Emma, a wall plaque with the name of a Welsh town, the world's longest, and Dr. Keene's Civil War medals. Keene was an early proponent of Dr. Joseph Lister's work. Lister recognized that unsanitary conditions spread disease. Dr. Keene knew that most Civil War soldiers were dying of infections rather than the wounds themselves, and promoted sterilization of instruments to save lives. There was one classic blunder, though, in Dr. Keene's long career. While vacationing in Bar Harbor, Maine in 1921, he was called upon to treat the newly ill Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Keene recommended a massage for what he thought was a bladder or spinal lesion and sent the Roosevelts a bill for $600. FDR was later correctly diagnosed to have infantile paralysis. William Williams Keene was an ardent evolutionist. He said, "Some theologians admit that evolution applies to all animals but man. It is just as silly to say that mathematics applies up to 1,000,000 and then stops." Dr. Keene retired from surgery at age 70 in 1907. No one asked him his age when he entered the Army Medical Corps in 1917. Keene expressed his gratitude by saying, "I continue to work very late in life, despite my age, through the medium of a busy pen, and to do whatever I could to benefit mankind and animals." Dr. Keene left us in 1932 at age 95. One final Grover Cleveland story. It concerns the Baby Ruth bar. How did the famous candy get its name? The Sultan of Swat, Babe Ruth, sued the Curtis Candy Company, insisting that it was profiting from the use of the Babe's name on their delicious product. George Herman Ruth lost in court in 1931. The judge's ruling was that the confection was named after Grover Cleveland's daughter, Ruth.